Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 19th of Feb. Today was a very interesting day. There's no such thing as a free lunch in the market. We had a lot of volatility. After gapping down, we moved up 130 points. From there came crashing down almost about 250 points at random volatility of 60-70 points, and then finally closed up 100 points from the lows exactly at 15,000. That being said, if we were on the sell side today, it would have been very tricky to manage. We saw almost a 4% decrease in IB. But however, through proper trade management, risk management, we managed to get out of the day profitably by making about 1% on our capital. So I hope you have some good takeaways from this. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for watching.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like our first clip didn't record, but right now markets can be quite volatile because of what is happening in global markets. There seems to be an outflow of money from all markets, and generally futures trading at their lows. So to sort of deal with that volatility, we have kept our position very far from at the money, where currently our Strangle has a range of 900 points and will be easier to manage through the day. So that's the idea. We want to smoothen our risk reward when volatility is getting the best of us during the week. That being said, today once again ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank continue to be the biggest losers. Reliance has some weird things going on. It still stays in the same range more or less, but now 2050 to 2100 is the range that's in. So some people said yesterday about my Reliance position that it was perfectly centered, could cut some of the position, delta had neutralized. Actually, that's not the case. If you look at both of my Reliance positions, one has a positive delta. So if you see this Reliance position, it has a positive delta of 1.3 future lots, and my other Reliance position on the other account has a negative delta of 8 future lots. So I mean, this will vary immensely, but both of them have good volume of decay. So the theta to delta ratio, as all the fancy people would say, is quite well. So for now, this is our position, and we're just going to try and capture as much as of the Friday decay that's possible. Friday is one of the best days for capturing intraday decay, because Saturday and Sunday being 2 days, a lot of that is incorporated into the options pricing on Friday, provided there isn't too much movement in the last half an hour. So what we'll do is hold this position through the day, make adjustments where necessary, and in the last half an hour we're going to set very tight stop losses to get out with whatever we can before the close. So that being said, the time is 9:45. Okay, so to quickly go over what our view is, we feel IT should be range bound today, and generally all indexes should be range bound today and follow global cues. We might see a big move towards the opening of European markets, but apart from that, as of now, we can confirm that this is a downtrend. So we are not expecting too much upside, which is why we're not going to easily be rolling up our puts. Bank Nifty as well, this where we have broken down from, it depends. We break out here, then again we might get back into this range, but this will act as a resistance. So that is our view for Bank Nifty. And Reliance, our view is that it's going to stay between 2100 and 2050. So that is why we have taken this exact position in itself. So yeah, the time is 9:47. The time is 10:12, and this resistance on Bank Nifty not seem to be holding. So if we start to break up here, and that means Nifty will move above 15100. So our plan will be to slightly move up our puts. If 15100 holds for the next 15 minutes, we hold above 15100, then we will move up the put side. So that being said, our position is still quite well balanced, but now these calls are starting to expand, so we will move up our puts, but it will take a little bit of time. So the time is 10:30, and we are seeing a spike in IB, which is basically the calls are going up in price without any change to the put side. The best thing for us to do in this situation is do absolutely nothing. So I mean, if towards close we're not doing so well on the position, we will just move our hedges closer and potentially carry it overnight, or even make a diagonal sort of a hedge. So that will be planned towards the end of the day. But being a Friday, and with this range we should get to see good decay despite the increase in IV. So that's the plan. Okay, the time is 11:05 and what we have done now is roll down our calls further, and the plan will be from here to do as minimal adjustment as possible. Our puts are 350 points out of the money and our calls are 300 points out of the money, which is a good 750 point range. And that being the case, this position by Monday morning should decay almost about 30 points minimum. This position should decay by Monday morning. So of that, around 20 points can happen today itself. So we're just going to hold on to this position from here, ideally not have to do too much adjustment. So that being the case, time is 11:06. We'll keep you posted. Okay, so 12 o'clock update, our position is exactly the same. We haven't had to do anything. Everything seems range bound. One good thing is HDFC Bank are not trading at today's lows. They're quite stable where they are. Strength is coming from Reliance obviously, but it's at that resistance level of 2100. And Bank Nifty also looking quite sideways for now. That being said, IT is the biggest drag for today, which is fine. It's just IT and not a combination of IT and anything else. So eventually through the day now, as we start heading towards close, already from our previous clip, this was trading at 71, it has decayed to 68-ish, and we're expecting this to decay to something like 55 by the end of the day. So we're just holding for now. That's the 12 o'clock update. Okay, 1 o'clock update. Not much is happening, to put it quite simply. Bank Nifty might be heading back towards the day's low, but there's no momentum at all. So there's really no trade to be taken there. Looks very range bound for now. So our position continues to have about 65 points in it. This should end up opening on Monday, provided there isn't more than a 50 point up move, down move. This will open at less than 40 points. The position will be worth at opening only less than 40 points. So that being said, how much will it decay today? We are expecting it to decay to somewhere around 55, maybe even more if we are super range bound. But the idea is there is 15 points for the taking. And so far, the hypothesis looks good. The thing is, the rate of decay, the same way it is exponential across days for positional trades, it is also exponential across the day itself for intraday. So what will happen is the rate of decay will really pick up, and the maximum decay will get in like the last half an hour. So that being the case, we're going to, now we have about 2.5 hours for market to close. So we're just going to hold this position, and that's about it. Okay, the time is 1:45 and we have now started, we were testing the day's lows, and Bank Nifty as well was testing the day's lows. So that being said, just for a little more balancing act, to not have a biased view, we have moved down our calls. So we have booked the 15,350 and moved it to 15,300. Now we have a 600 point range and it's perfectly balanced. So that being said, we only have another 1 hour 45 minutes in the market. So we will continue to hold this as the decay for the day picks up. Okay, it's 2 o'clock and the update is basically we might head towards 15,000. So we're going to have to be very quick to manage if we do that. The plan will be to move down the calls to 15,200 all the way if 15,000 breaks, and it's quite unlikely that we have a big breakdown below 15,000, but it's totally possible. So that's the plan for now. So we continue to hold the same position. So 2 o'clock update, and this is what is happening. 15,000 will be a very big psychological thing. So that being said, we're still more than 300 points away on our sold put strikes, so there is a comfort factor. Okay, the closer we're getting to 15,000, this put obviously is trying to inflate big time. We're taking a look at what's happening with some of the heavyweights and this dip towards 15,000. HDFC Bank not really pulling it down. ITC heading down. Axis Bank really heading down.
but Reliance, HDFC Bank are looking alright. Like they don't seem to be seeing any selling at this 15,000 range. Just taking a look at everything. Bajaj Finance 5,500 should act as a support. Infi looking good. TCS looking good. So this 15,000 isn't too much of a concern as of now, because Infi, TCS, HDFC Bank, Reliance, ICICI Bank not so good, but the rest of them looking quite good. So we won't roll down our calls too quickly. We will wait for below 15,000 to hold. Okay, so what we've done now is move down our calls further, because now we're below 15,000, and Bank Nifty is below 36,000. So here as well we have moved down our calls, taken in additional credit, and let us see what happens from here. We're not right now expecting too much of a further cascade from 15,000. That's the idea. Otherwise we would have moved our calls down much more. So should be ideally a pullback towards 15. So we'll keep you posted. Okay, so the time is 2:12 and we have rolled down our calls further to 15,200, and at this point Nifty is in a free fall, so IV is also spiking, and everything is falling. Banks, IT, Reliance, there's nothing that's not falling anymore. So that being said, huge volatility can be the worst time to make adjustments. Our plan will be, in case we're not doing so well towards the close of today, we'll carry the position. We'll just buy hedges and carry the position. So that being said, we'll keep you posted. Okay, we've had to do a bunch of shuffling around, but what we've done is we've moved in closer now, and we have moved to the 15,100 call sold and 15,750 put sold. The idea will be to see how this holds for the rest of today, and in case not so good, then we'll buy the same strikes but not in this monthly expiry, in the expiry of 4th March, and carry it over. So that will be the plan. Okay, so all kinds of jibber jabber happening, and at this point the best thing to do will be to be as neutral as possible, which is what we are, and to capture as much potential last minute decay that can happen, because we're quite neutral. We don't have to be too worried about this, or we carry the position, one of the few things. So that being said, we're also ready and prepared to move down our call another 50 points or our put another 50 points, depending on what happens from here. So interesting. Never a bland day. I mean, lately you'd think if you just make a long straddle in the morning, you probably set like a 2-3% target for yourself and get out, and that will almost certainly work. That's how the past few days have been. That being said, we'll keep you posted. There is still another hour left to go, so a lot can happen. Okay, so now we're seeing a reversal, and that is leading to calls not expanding because they didn't deflate either, because IV is coming back to earth and puts are once again deflating. So we're going to get out of these puts and sell these to give us a little more of a balancing act. Okay, so now we're back to being well balanced, and our M2M also has recovered greatly, so we just managed to sustain through the thing. Now here, what do we do? How much is the 750 trading for? Yeah, we're gonna move this up. Okay, so we are back to being decently well balanced, and There is still 1 hour left to go. So that being the case, we should be alright. I mean, this can be really tricky, right? One thing is, you can go long the puts, but and there was certainly momentum, but it's also about entering at the right point. When the day's low was being tested, we entered there. Makes sense. Entering after we've broken 15,000 already, the puts are already pricing in that. That's why you call it expansion of IV. Suddenly the demand is so much that the price is really going nuts, and that's what you need to take advantage of if you're on the buying side. You can't do much about it if you're on the sell side already. Okay, slight execution error we had added to the call quantity instead of the put quantity. Now we have fixed that. Good thing we noticed in time, otherwise that could have been quite heavy for us. That being said, we are decently balanced for now. Okay, the time is 2:40, and this is where things get really interesting. You will see that provided there is no further big move, these options are going to crash immensely in the next remaining 40 minutes. That is there, 50 minutes, 47 minutes, that's there. Provided no big move, they will absolutely tumble. And same goes for here, where we're spaced slightly differently, but evenly balanced at this point. They will absolutely start crashing the moment we start heading towards the day's close, because a lot of people would have gotten long in these options during the day, and they will start exiting their positions. People who don't want to carry. If we're not doing so good, if we're in a negative M2M, we might consider carrying this position overnight, but it depends on how bad it is. So that being the case, we'll keep you posted. It is 2:45. Okay, the time is 2:47. What we've done is we've booked the 15,100 calls here, and we have moved them to 15,050. And you can see that despite our puts expanding and we moving down our calls and whatnot, we're balanced now. The DK is compensating for any sort of delta exposure. So here as well, we've moved our 15,150 call, we booked that and moved it to 15,100. And we are technically, the position is going against us and we're having to adjust, but the net DK on the position is overtaking the damage that is happening through losing on the delta side. So that being the case, there is still 40 minutes to go, and I will keep you posted. 3 o'clock update is that market's going nuts now, testing 14,900 and heading back, but in the meantime we are now in the positive. So that is what can happen if you have managed to balance your trade and not fight the market. And that being said, there's still half an hour left to go, and that half an hour will give us really good DK, and most of the delta damage can be managed by the DK. So we're gonna hold this till the end of the day. If we're in a profit, we'll take it and we'll cut it. If not, we will hold the trade and see what to do. Never a time to rest. So we have now moved our puts up to 14,850, because it looks like we are heading back up. So we head back up 15,000, moving our puts to 14,900. In fact, we're going to do it right now. Okay, so what we've done is we've now moved up our puts considerably to 14,900, and here as well we've moved up our puts to 14,900, and there's about 15 minutes left to go. Very intense day. Okay, super intense, never a second to breathe. So what we've done now is we've moved up our puts to 14,950, and that's balancing this call, and hopefully this is the last step we have to take for the day, and looks like we're going to end in the profit, so we are not going to bother looking at carrying the position. But yeah, this being the case, here as well we moved up to 14,900. Okay, the time is 3:23 and we are exiting at the basically the best time to have had all day. We don't want to get auto squared off by Zerodha, so just exiting everything manually. Okay, so basically we're done for the day. We've closed decently, and yeah, that is all. I wish you all a great weekend. I will see you next on Monday.
Thank you for watching. Please post any questions you have in the comment section. Also, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. To find us on Twitter, Telegram and Facebook, use the username NiftyBN. Also, we post some of our trades to the community tab. So do not forget to check that from time to time.